Should I call you Ondas?
Ondas is fine, yeah.
You want to know something funny? That's almost translated to evil in Swedish.
I did not know that. Didn't know it had such nefarious connotations.
So, hi and welcome to a community look into and a congratulations to a tournament winner and a deck tech video for Kraum and Ikra. With me today I have Ondas. Who are you and where have you been piloting and playing this deck?
We have a server called cEDH Games on Discord where every week we have a league over the weekend. It starts in late Eastern Standard Time, and we generally have about 4 games every week. So I've been playing my deck there for a while.
So what is the metagame like in this little tournament that you have?
Generally, people try and play faster decks. There's usually 1 or 2 turbo ad nauseam decks in my pods every time, and then the other decks are typically stacks leaning or evolution variants. I don't see a lot of Tymna Thrasios.
And this is taking place over cockatrice.
It is, yes.
This sounds actually pretty interesting. There are very few Tymna and Thrasios decks, you say.
Yeah, typically because of the aggressiveness of the turbo ad nauseam decks, people don't have as much time to sit around and activate Thrasios, so he loses a lot of value. Tymna still is an incredibly powerful card, but you generally want to do something more than just sit around for 5 turns and just drawing cards and accruing card advantage, because the games are able to end in a single turn if someone gets powerful top deck or something.
So if someone would to kind of want to join this little tournament, what should they think about when they're trying to go into this little metagame of yours?
They definitely need to be prepared for dockside and everything that comes up with that. Breach combo is very big, and as I said, ad nauseum.
Are there any like meta decks or stacks decks like Bloodpod that are trying to prey on the Oddness strategies, or just everyone in the fast combo strategy here?
I don't think I've seen anyone play Metapod. People have tried some stacksier strategies, and they have tried like some control strategies, but a single stacks or control deck finds it difficult to deal with the ad nauseum decks.
You mentioned something here that Thrasios decks are having a little bit harder time grinding value here because you're playing Kraum and Ikra. And usually when you're on those colored entities, you usually play Vial, Smasher, and Thrasios. Or why did you pick this pair?
So the main value is obviously in Crom. Crom is 5 mana, and he's able to draw a card every time your opponent casts their second spell each turn. And when you're playing in a meta where people can't sit back and be passive, then Crom gains a lot of value because he has like the Vile Smasher Curiosity effect, but it doesn't require an extra card.
Yeah.
So you're able to just put 5 mana on the table and play Crom, and he just draws you a ton of cards after that. And in these fast ad nauseum decks, hitting 5 mana in your second or third turn is incredibly easy to do. So even if you don't have an immediate win, you're able to just play Crom and then continue developing while he grinds for you.
But why not playing Tymna instead of Ikra? I mean, Tymna is obviously a better card drawing commander than Ikra. Ikra is gaining life, and that's good with your Oddness. Or is it just that the green is so much more important than the white?
So green gives us access to a couple of very important cards. Tinderwall and Orcish Lumberjack are both incredibly powerful rituals. Tinderwall, you're able to play it on turn 1 and then sacrifice it later to get more value than just a ritual that goes +1. And Orcish Lumberjack, you can play it on 1 and then turn 2 you untap cast Adnos. Additionally, there you have access to Elvish Spirit Guide and Veil of Summer, both of which are very good in Ad Nauseum.
Yes, it's the green silence.
Alongside that, you have some really nice removal in Abrupt Decay. And if you want to dip that far, Assassin's Trophy. You have Worldly Tutor to grab a Notion Thief or Thassa's Oracle or Dockside.
I want to emphasize on the Abrupt Decay. So you're playing a turbo Oddness, peer into the abyss, fast combo deck basically. And a lot of people have been saying I don't need removal in my deck because I'm trying to win before, I'm not trying to interact. But I think Abrupt Decay is quite key because even you're probably gonna run into a game where there is a stacks piece that you have to remove. So I think the Abrupt Decay here is to remove annoying cards that is preventing you from winning.
Yeah, Abrupt Decay being uncounterable makes it so much more difficult to interact with you removing the Rule of Law effect or the Drannith Magistrate that's stopping you from Breach.
Your creature ratio is quite low. You only run Deathrite Shaman, and you don't even run Bird of Paradise.
So in the turbo ad nauseam strategies, having mana dorks is not amazing because you play a mana dork on one and you have to wait a turn before you can get any value out of it. Whereas all of your most powerful starts are coming from playing out a bunch of rocks. 2 days ago, I was playing a game and I had a hand where I dumped Arcane Signet, Felbar Stone, and a Mana Crypt or something, all on turn one. And like I untap turn two and I have 6 or 7 mana available to me. And I can't do that if I'm running Arbor Elf or Birds of Paradise or anything.
I'm guessing you're playing Deathrite Shaman over Bird of Paradise because Deathrite Shaman can actually interact with the breach combos that you're going up against.
Yes, Deathrite can interact. He can make. He obviously makes mana. He's a 1 mana planeswalker.
You also get Carpet of Flowers from green.
It really is. Having a 1 mana card that immediately pays itself off and then can make you like 3, 4 mana in the later half of the game is just ridiculously strong.
You're playing Rhystic Study. What do you think about Rhystic Study here? Is it too slow or is it on a perfect spot?
So the purpose of an ad nauseam deck is to power out these incredibly strong early turns. Like you're playing Magic from turn one. You're not sitting back and playing a Dork and then playing a Thrasios and then seeing what happens. You're foot all the way on the gas pedal from the start of the game. And Rhystic Study allows you to do that, along with Wheel of Fortune, well, all of the wheel effects and all of the 1 card win cons that you're able to run. Rhystic Study is just there for density and allowing you to say, I've mulled like 5, but I have a somewhat fast start and can put a Rhystic Study down on turn 1 or 2, and you're immediately back in the game, as if you hadn't even mulled.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, you could mulligan down to 3, have an island, Mana Crypt, and a Rhystic Study.
Yeah, like I'll snap keep that.
You're playing Deflecting Swat and Fierce Guardianship, and those cards are obviously all-stars amazing. However, both of your commanders are costing 5 mana, and I'm usually a little bit torn about having Fierce Guardianship inside Kenrith because 5 mana Kenrith is really expensive. But I guess this deck's game plan is to have Kraum into play quite consistently. So do you feel that your Fierce Guardianship and Deflecting Swat are you always able to cast them with the commander trick?
When the goal of your deck is to hit 5 or more mana on turn 2 and is able to do that pretty consistently, you're able to power out Kraum. And unlike Kinrith, you don't require any more mana to sink into it. So just casting Kraum turn 2 is an incredibly fine play. They allow you to develop your board while still holding up interaction. That's why I'm also playing Force of Negation. You're an incredibly greedy deck and you want to develop your board early and you don't want to have to hold up mana. So by playing these cards, you're able to play out your Kraum or maybe your Rhystic Study or whatever, and you're still able to hold up interaction if your opponents try and win.
What do you think about Force of Vigor? Is that unnecessary in your game? Do you have enough interaction for it?
I've actually recently considered Force of Vigor. The biggest issue for me, though, is do I have enough green cards in the deck that I'm able to pitch? Based on Moxfield, only 17% of my deck is green.
But yeah, you're right. You normally have Force of Vigor in decks where you have a lot of dorks.
Yeah, being able to pitch Avacyn's Pilgrim or something to Force of Vigor is really nice, and I don't have that option here.
Have you thought about going for the Martyr Turns strategy with the Necropotence and the 2 red final of...
With Final Fortune,
Yeah, Final of Fortune.
I've played with those cards before in other decks. I don't lean too heavily into Necropotence here. I generally find it to be not as great when everyone's ready to do things that quickly. You play it out turn 2 and you win turn 3. You're not able to get everything you need from a Necropotence because you can only keep 7 cards. Having Final Fortune definitely alleviates the difficulties of Necropotence.
Are there any other cards you have considered potentially adding to the list, or some cards you've been thinking about that you want to try out for this list?
So there have been cards that I've tried in the past that I haven't been a fan of. One of the notable exclusions to the list is Yawgmoth's Will. You used to see that a lot in the ad nauseam strategies, but with Breach, Yawg Will has just become a lot less good, and it's not quite as necessary.
Oh, interesting. I didn't expect to hear that.
When I made the list, I wanted to play Song of Creation as an additional 1-card win con. That was the hope. Anyways, Song of Creation just didn't pan out to be good enough. You can't just play it on 4 and hope to win. You have to have multiple cards in hand, multiple mana after you cast it, and it's color intensive. It's blue, red, green. You're not able to cast Dark Ritual, Mana Vault, and then just win.
Yeah, I think you need to build your deck heavily around that card to make it work.
Take one look at the card and you know it's busted. It's just, is it more busted than ad nauseum? And I think the answer is no, but I think you can make an incredibly powerful deck around Song of Creation.
Where did you find this inspiration for this list?
When I first built it, I made it because I wanted an ad nauseum deck that could play Noxious Revival. That was the defining feature. I had played decks without green for a while, mainly a year ago, and I really love Noxious Revival as a card. You can do a lot of tricks with it to mess up opponents. So I built a list that was mostly this, and then I went onto the Turbo Farm Discord, and I found out that Ishmoken on there had actually built something that was a more refined version of that, and I was able to get a lot of help from him and some other people from the cEDH Discord community. Shout out to Ishmoken for helping me with this.
If people want to ask you or Ishmoken questions about this, or talk about Turbo Ad Nauseam in general, where can they find these people or these conversations?
There's a Turbo Ad Nauseam Discord. You can find it through the Commander Library, and you'll have a lot of really smart people and myself talking about Ad Nauseam and different ways to do it. River and Famji from the Finnish meta are there a lot. Deke from cEDH Nexus is there. You'll be able to find help for pretty much any ad nauseum variant that you need.
And we can't have too many Oddness variants. So when is the next big Cockatrice Grand Tournament upcoming?
There's actually one coming up on the 17th of October. It's called Oktoberfest from the cEDH Tournaments Discord, hosted by I Sleep Too Late. This time, they're trying to do something that's closer to a Grand Prix, where it's more than just an EDH tournament. It's also just a place to relax, have fun, and chat with your friends over the weekend. Tournament registration is going up until the day before the tournament. So if you're able to join the Discord in the link below, then I hope to see you there. Oktoberfest will begin at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard, but it usually lasts for 8 hours or something, which is not the most European friendly. River was playing up at 4 a.m. the last time he was in that tournament. So
Ondas, thank you for coming here and sharing your experience with your deck and how to build it, and talking about your little community.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. It's been a great time.
Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I do and you wanna support me, feel free to share my videos or even checking out my Patreon page. Also, purchasing cards from the TCG Players website using the affiliate link in the description below of the video will also help the channel grow. So a big thank you to all of you.